Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. My Canadian friends, what a big honor. Zelensky showed up in your country unannounced to visit your weasel, virtue signaling idiot Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. What a sight. And while at it, Mr. Zelensky will probably visit the Ukrainian community located in Toronto around Bathurst Street. You know what I mean. So let's see what these two great leaders had to talk about besides the usual pictures. I have this article from Ukrainska Pravda, Friday the 22nd of September 2023. Zelensky arrives in Canada unannounced, and Trudeau is so happy. Let me tell you this little thing, my friends, and this is an honest assessment, wrong as it might be, but is based on my life experience and documentation. I've been reading books, lectures. Zelensky, I'm sorry to say that this about him, he is viewed as a freak by the Western leaders. He is viewed like and I'm not saying it to hurt Zelensky's feelings or anything like that, I don't want to insult. This is my assessment. When these guys here, some of them, look at Zelensky and take pictures with Zelensky, visit Ukraine, and they look at this guy as an animal that is, brought back to life from, the prehistoric times. That's how they look, like it's a freak. And they take a picture, they want to hang it on the walls. This strange guy here who fights for us. They look down on him. That's for sure. That's my point. They look down at like a circus little, how they used to be those guys in the circuses with all kind of defects, birth defects and so on. That's how they look at this guy. That's my assessment. They take pictures with him like, look, I'm with the little guy over here, I'm with this guy, I'm with that guy. I don't know if you frequented circuses, but when I was a kid, I was in a circus, and I went through this little how should I call them, presentations of this kind of weird stuff. And you were like, oh my God, impresses you for the rest of your life. So I think Zelensky, that's the way. Look, for instance, look at this picture. Look at this picture. I think this picture is clear. Look how this idiot is looking at Zelensky. Look closely. Hey, buddy. What's up, buddy? Ooh, yeah. Like patronizing. But hey, maybe it's just my, as I said, idiotic interpretation. But I know this from, I was about to say direct experience, not like a circus little kid, but, yeah, partly with that. A lot of people want to know the new immigrants arriving from the boat and tell them that they never saw a telephone or a television set or anything like that, so they can feel, oh man, did you hear the Romanian came? Well, he's a nice guy, but we just showed him how shoes look. Things like this. And when you tell them that, you start a conversation with them and you talk about, politics, philosophy, psychology, history, and so on, they feel inferior at the drop of a hat, and then they don't invite you to talk to them anymore because you are know-it-all. That is, you are an ignorant. And anyway, move on. Let's go here. President of Ukraine, thank you, not the Ukrainian president. Zelensky has arrived in Canada on an unannounced visit, said the office of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And I'm quoting, the Prime Minister Trudeau today announced the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, will visit Canada from September 21st to 22nd today. The two leaders will continue to work closely together to strengthen ties between our countries and help ensure the Ukrainian people can continue to defend themselves against Russia's brutal and unjustifiable invasion. Well, when you say unjustifiable, well, look at this from a philosophical point of view. When we make a decision to act in a certain way. We justify the decision, the action based on our thoughts. So good or bad, you can justify. I'm just going to give you. You have a criminal, and I'm not defending this. It's a philosophical conversation. You have a criminal. The criminal will justify his actions by his needs. I needed to do this because I didn't have money. I needed to do this because I had this kind of urge. Now from outside, don't use unjustifiable. Not right, yes. Wrong decisions, wrong acts, yes. But he will justify it. So again, you say unjustifiable. Ask the Russians and see how many justifications they will bring. Now you don't accept those justifications. But that's a different term for that. Because they justify it. You don't accept that. You might consider that wrong. But not unjustifiable. Because the Russians will bring you. You have a conversation with your wife or whomever, your husband. He's going to justify his decisions to go and do hanky-panky. It's not right, it's not moral, it's not ethical, but he's going to justify it somehow. You don't accept it, it's a different term. When you hear these guys unjustified invasion, they justify it by saying we're going to protect our people that you were killing in Donbass. That's one of their justification. What are you going to do about it? Is that a fact? Think about it. Kiev sent tanks to Donbass, didn't they? Didn't it? Yeah, so that's a fact, isn't it? So is that a justification? It is, but we don't accept it because that would run against our narrative. Anyway, so, and it says, Canada will continue to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. My Canadian friends, did you agree with that? Were you asked? Did you agree to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes? That is, you can give the money and maybe you can go and serve and your children will have a better life by giving your money over there. Did you agree? If you agreed, then you go and pay. But the Canadian that didn't agree should not pay for that. But hey, that's the democracy from you. You vote, even though, you vote and then these guys get in office one time and then they do this kind of things in your name. I don't think that's right. There should be some checks and balances here. In Ottawa, Trudeau will reportedly meet with Zelensky to reiterate Canada's ongoing military, economic, humanitarian and development support for Ukraine as it continues to defend itself against Russia's brutal war of aggression. They will also take part in a signing ceremony for an agreement that will continue to strengthen economic ties between, or what? Between the two countries. In Ottawa, Zelensky will also deliver a speech to Parliament. Good job, good job. They're not going to go one-on-one. They will get the circus guy over there and say, here it is. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, well, when they're going to be at the deathbed, they will tell their families, when I was in Parliament, this freak came and I was over there. He was small, ugly, and whatever. And I was there, I was helping the humanity. And all the family is like, yeah, I'm glad they see this portrait of our great grandfather here talking. Anyway, good for them, good for them. So they will take also part in the signing. Oh, okay, the two leaders, they're leaders, yes, will then travel to Toronto, Bathurst Street, to meet with Canadian business leaders to strengthen private sector investment in Ukraine's future. Canada, along with its allies and partners, and so on. Okay, this is garbage here. Trudeau is again signaling his virtue. We know, Trudeau, that you are the most virtuous guy with blackface in his youth, divorcing right now, being an idiot by what you say and how you act. But it's okay, you're the best somehow. And you are the Prime Minister of Canada for 2 terms already. So, when you have this kind of garbage over there, how can you believe in democracy? And I'm talking about Biden and Kamala, or others in the past as well. How can you believe when you have Olaf Scholz and Annalena Baerbock, and you have Liz Truss and Maharishi Sunak, and you have Macron, who just signed his decree of pension reform on his own, bypassing the parliament. how can you, my friends, how can you believe in democracy when you have these mediocrities at best? And I'm going to jump on Meloni as well. I don't think Meloni of Italy is very cerebral. I don't think she is. Why? I saw her talking. I saw her statements. The how do you call it? The mental gymnastics she has to execute when she's touching certain subjects. Very, very low. But this is democracy. I'm not saying that democracy is not good, but not the way it is right now. This modern form of democracy is wrong. Why? Because look who got in charge. I mean, if the product is garbage, something is wrong at the selection level. The same in your office. If you see the supervisor or the directors or whatever, they are selected and you look, but these are garbage. These are garbage, and it makes you think, well, if you're not a garbage, you're not going to get over there. That's a method of selection that promotes or allows this kind of garbage to be promoted. Promote themselves. Remember, people don't like to, we don't like to be put in an inferiority position. Why would you like? Unless you have something to learn. And it's hard to accept, well, maybe if I stay around this guy, I will learn something. I don't like that this guy is, or this person is doing this and doing it better than I do, but maybe I learn something and I become better. That's the mentality you should have. But in this case, if you have weasels like these guys in positions of power, what kind of selection methods were used? Not the ones that you employ, because otherwise you would have the good people being over there, but you have the idiots. Why? Too much money? The so-called campaign donations, the mass media, the whole system, the education, the entertainment industry. All these things, my friends, all these things. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So go and maybe you're going to be able to take a glance of the little circus clown when he visits Toronto or Ottawa or wherever he might be brought in front of you to. We are together. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.